Hello, friends. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Hanky Law. Hanky Law likes solving your problems when they happen, but loves anticipating them so they don't. They provide real people with real solutions to help get your life moving forward. Hanky Law provides criminal defense, family law, personal injury, and civil law. Listen, the legal system can be intimidating and scary. If you find yourself in the legal system, it's important to have lawyers who can explain the process, navigate the legal system, and protect your rights. Hanky Law's experienced attorneys use their knowledge to skillfully defend their clients. Maybe your family is needing representation during a stressful or emotional event. Hanky Law can help. Hanky Law is comprised of Blake and Kelsey Hanky with a family of their own, so you can trust they understand the value of keeping the best interests of you, your finances, your future, and the long-term interests of your children in mind. If you are needing legal help in North Dakota or Minnesota, go to hankyjustice.com or call 701-746-4529. Hanky Law, counselors and attorneys at law.
Welcome to the Cloud Surfing Podcast.
Getting him back on Zoom here. Give me 1 second. We'll get him pulled up. All right, welcome back. It's part 2 with Nick Johnsrude. Here he is on screen. Nick, how are you?
Pretty good. Just got home from work, so I was ready to get part 2 going.
It's been 24 hours since we last spoke. 22 hours since we last spoke.
Yep.
This is good. It's good to have part 2. So what? So last time we talked. We were talking about just that gray area that we exist in between not actually being a veteran, but not being in the military either. Like having some prior experience, but not having veteran or not having anything like that. So what do you think needs to be done about that problem? Because it's not like it's a small amount of people. There are a lot of people that just don't want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's like what I kind of like what Navy OCS did is they did have the concept of student pool, where it's just you and like 20 other people that are all in the same exact position that you're in.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that support network that it's like I honestly couldn't imagine like not having.
Oh, for sure.
Because there are 3 people I can still hit up to this day, and we can still just talk about things. You know.
Yeah. Do you have you seen any of them since OCS?
Just a friend in New York.
Just the New Yorker. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Are you guys planning on doing anything later on, or not really?
Not really. No, he's off getting his master's degree.
Oh yeah, he's busy.
So, yep, there's that, and it's just New York's on the other side of the country, and
it's a long flight, especially from Washington. I mean, you'd probably have to connect in Detroit or at Atlanta or something before you even get to New York.
Actually, the weirdest thing, I was able to fly directly from New York to Seattle.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn,
I was surprised too.
Was that like a 5
all right, yeah, sure.
Was that like a 5-hour flight? How long is that?
About 5 hours, yeah.
God damn, dude. I don't know, like, the thing is, when you're flying, like, I do love going in airliners, but, like, driving, like, the 5 hours from Grand Forks back to Wisconsin, where I was, from college or whatever, that seemed so much shorter than the 5 hours in an airplane. For that, like, it seems so much shorter. I don't know why, but 5 hours in a plane is just, like, someone needs to fucking put this airplane on the ground. Holy shit, we've been up here for so long.
Oh, my God, I know. Well, I couldn't imagine, like, transatlantic or trans-Pacific.
Do you think the altitude is, like, tiring? I mean, I'm a pilot, so I should know, but, like, it's just, like, to me, every time I flew, I always thought it was because I was so attentive to everything. That was why I was mentally tired. Do you think altitude has anything to do with that?
I don't know if it would or not. I think it's just the fact that you're just, like, sitting still and, like, everything kind of looks the same around you. At least, like, when you're in a car, there's different scenery.
Right. Windows are wide, more open. Generally, the person next to you is someone you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did I tell you, dude? I didn't, dude. My last flight, I had a lady. I just told it last night on stage, so it has my memory popped. A lady. First of all, I got upgraded to first class, which was like, when you get upgraded to first class and you buy basic economy, I'm automatically like, I don't want to even see you peasants in the waiting area. Like, I am so far above all of you right now. It's unreal. And I sit down. Anyway, this lady's foot appears between the window and the seat. So she's like, her foot is like right here, dude. And I'm like, there's only a couple ways to handle the situation. Like, you can turn around and just be like, excuse me, what the fuck? Or you can do what I did, and that was I just caressed her foot really gently on the bottom. Just really just tickled the bottom of her foot. You know how quickly she pulled her foot back?
I'm sure.
Like bruised her ankle, smashing it off the side of the plane, trying to get her foot out of there so quick. It was great.
It was great. Backfires and she actually likes it.
Oh my god, it was one of the great. I didn't even talk to her. But I really hoped that I was kind of hoping she would have said something, but she just kind of left the plane and didn't say anything. Oh Christ. Anyway, dude. So, okay, so you're talking about student flight and how that, or what is it? Student group or what was it?
Student pool is what they call it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so should there be something that maybe that they could have, like, hey, if student pool didn't work out for you, like, there's others you can talk to about it. You know, like, should there be some sort of support network for that?
It's kind of hard to create one, really. Just because, like, it's one of those things, like, everybody just tries to keep in their past.
Yeah.
For good reasons. I mean, it's just like, the job that I currently have, only 3 people know that I was ever in.
Yeah.
I got the manager that hired me, the lady in HR, and, like, one other person.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. It's not really something that you don't really, hey, my name's Jake, and I'm here to tell you that I used to be in the military, but I didn't quite make it. How's that? Like, you know? Like,
pretty much, yeah. But it's just like, one of those things is like you leave the base with your DD-214 in hand, and you're just kind of on your own. But, I mean, that's anybody, really.
I say, well, a lot of people are, like, praying for the day they get their DD-214. Like, my friend Emmett, shout out Emmett, he just sent me a thing, and I can't remember what he said, but he was like, the day you get your DD-214 is like the day you graduate high school and life begins again. It's like, huh. You know,
pretty good way to put it, yeah.
He's like, you don't miss the Marines, you miss your friends. Like, oh, that's true. Shit, it's totally true. Shit. No one misses getting their asses kicked. No one misses that. They just missed hanging out with the boys. Because, yeah.
For me, it's like that's what I hated the most about job interviews too. Is like because I had to put it on my resume because there was an employment gap.
Yeah.
And so it's like every time I get to that part of the interview, it's like I always make it abundantly clear. It's like if you're trying to get the veteran like tax credit off of me, you're not going to get it. Yeah. So I just want that all in the open. I'm very open about what happened. I'm just kind of like I don't want to set any expectation, and all of a sudden they're just kind of like, hey, what the heck? I thought you were a veteran. It's like I put it on my resume.
No. I'm a prior. There's a different. Yeah. I get you. I have
prior,
my DD-214. I am not. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one of those things. Also, one thing that was kind of cool. It's like the veteran community. It's like they do, kind of help people out in that way. Because there was this one charity out in the Seattle area. They recently shut down, which was shut down early of 2020.
Oh, bummer.
And basically, it's like a veteran job searching network.
Okay.
And so there's some companies that prefer to hire people with prior military experience.
Just because
we show up to work on time.
Yeah. Well, the
culture. We don't complain about stupid things.
Well, that and like if you got other priors around you, then like there's just like a culture of like it's really dark humor. I mean, there's no doubt about it, but it's great. Oh, yeah. It's so great though. Like I could sit around them and just go and just laugh. I could do that all day. It's so fun.
Yeah. But it's funny. It's like my first job back in the civilian world. It's like I got hired at this place where they sell like windows and siding.
Cool.
And it's like I could hear somebody down the hall when they were talking about. It's like, oh, who's the new guy? And it's like one guy's like, yeah, I heard he's like prior military. And I'm like,
shit.
All right, well, I mean, I put it on my resume. What can you do? It's not exactly a secret,
No, but.
But it was funny. I went out there and they were just kind of asking me just questions about my background, trying to like steer me into that direction. Yeah. And they were just kind of like, so what job did you have before this? I'm like, oh, I was living in Fargo, North Dakota. I had like some boring like administrative jobs. And they're like, oh, okay.
Do you have like one of the resumes? Like my resume is I have so many different ass jobs on my resume. Like even if I apply somewhere, they're like, so you don't really have like a direct get. I'm like, no, I just kind of do stuff. Whatever's hiring, I'm just like, that's cool. That sounds like something I could try. That sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like I kind of do have like administrative experience. It's like the one at Allside or the windows and siding place. It was kind of cool because like I was the person that like scheduled all the housing remodeling projects for windows and siding, and it's like I got to decide which contractors got which jobs.
Okay.
Which to me was like super rewarding because it's like 5 small businesses that I got to make happen.
Yeah. So you got was anyone ever a dick and you were just like, I'm not giving you that contract, give it to someone else.
No, I tried to make sure everything was as fair as absolutely possible because, like, I didn't want any, like, even resemblance of, favoritism.
I get you. Dude,
So,
when I worked at Menards, this is probably not a story I should be telling, but when I worked at Menards, there was this one contractor. He was a huge asshole, and he would always like rip through like all the 2x4s and then leave like a shitload on the ground, and then or like grab a bunch of siding and leave all the siding on the ground and only pick like 3 that you liked, and there's like 400 on the ground. So I remember when he used to like come in, we used to like grab his stuff and have it set aside, and he would always be like, I don't want this or whatever. And I remember this one day he went in there and he like pulled everything out of the shelves, like everything out of the shelves, and threw it on the ground like a kid, like literally tantrum style. And after that, he literally stopped getting, like, I stopped seeing him in the yard. Like, Menards stopped giving him contracts immediately after. Like, I'm pretty sure they were just fucking tired of this guy, and they were like, you're not contracting with us anymore. And he was just done.
yeah, some people don't understand the concept of don't bite the hand,
It was like, Jesus, I gotta spend 4 hours cleaning up all this lumber because your ass can't pick a 2x4? Like, it's 2x4, dude. These are studs. What are you, building a log cabin? They're studs. They go behind the drywall. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But so then, after that, it's like COVID kind of, took a hit in the construction industry, so I had to go.
What was
because I was
like
like the newest person there. And
were you laid off?
Yeah. So basically, my old job kind of stopped existing because the whole backstory behind it, I was temp to hire,
Okay.
but they just never approved my contract, and they were just like, all right, next month we'll try and get it approved through corporate and everything because. To some accountant in Ohio, I'm just a number.
Right. No, for sure. I get it.
They're just like, oh, okay, nope, we don't need that guy.
It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Yep. So I mean, like everybody was pretty bummed about it. It's like nobody.
Was that in Fargo when the pandemic happened?
No, I was here.
That was in Washington. Okay. You've been out of Fargo for like a year and a half now, right? 2 years
No,
almost?
yep.
Yeah, jeez. Time is flying, dude.
Yeah, it was July 5th, 2019. That's when I left Fargo.
I left Grand Forks on June 15th of 2019.
Okay.
And I had to stay. I stayed on my buddy's couch for 2 weeks because my apartment wasn't open yet in the cities. And my place shut down in Grand Forks, so I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Last
thing is just kind of like, sometimes I think about like the life that I left behind in Fargo, and I think what I like the most about it is like represents a period of my time in my life when I actually had my stuff together.
Right. No, but dude, that's here's what I'm starting to realize though. The more like actual adults that I talk to, everyone thinks they have it together, and then they're like, and then they turn like 26, 27, and they're like, wait, no, I don't. Like that's it. It's weird because like you have this. It's because all your loans are deferred. Everything, you're still young. Like shit's still going well. It's not, the real world hasn't hit you yet, and it really won't until you're like 26, 27, when you got to start paying for health insurance, fucking dental care. If you don't eat, you're just gonna die. Like shit like that you just don't think about. You're like, oh fuck, I haven't eaten today. I should probably do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about Fargo. It's like you kind of grow up a little bit faster out there, just because it's so easy to live a good life.
You grow up really fast in North Dakota.
But the only thing is, though, it's
there's like pregnant
sixth
graders.
But.
Yeah,
no, it's just one of those things, like, I try not to think about that, too often, just because, like, time that I spend, thinking about what my life could have been like over there is just time, that I can't spend improving my life here.
If you want to, anyway. It's not like it's a fucking forbidden zone. It's not like it's a video game that you can't go back to.
That's true,
you
yeah.
can always move back. It's not like Fargo isn't shrinking either. The opportunity's still there. If you ever wanted to go back to the frozen tundra of North Dakota, it's an option.
Well, I thought about Minneapolis, honestly, because I've gotten so used to living in the Seattle area where I just have stuff around me all the time.
Yeah.
Minneapolis was nice. Go back.
Minneapolis was nice. I enjoyed my time. I stayed in Plymouth, which was like a little town to like...
Oh, the nice suburb,
in the west. And like all the people that were there were either really old or really young families. So I fit in so well. I was just like, everyone was quiet. I just got to sit in my room it was so nice. There was no gunshots outside. It was great. Neighbors weren't being murdered on my first night sleeping in the place. Great. Just great.
Nice.
Are you planning on moving again, or are you planning on staying in Washington for a while?
Staying in Washington for a while, at least, because it's kind of nice being around family again. Because that was kind of like one nice thing about the Navy not working out is because I use my parents' address as my home of record.
Okay.
And so it's like, that was my final thing when I, signed my DD-214. So they make sure that you get back to your home of record.
Oh, gotcha. So they flew you all the way back to Washington.
Yep.
Oh,
So
dope.
you get one free trip at least. After that, there's kind of like wherever you're at, that's where you're
I
at.
really
So.
miss free airline flights, man. Those were the days. Do you remember, like, oh, maybe not, but like when I was a cadet, like they used to just fly us to activities. They'd just be like, hey, you want to go? We have a flight thing in Mississippi. You want to? It's like, yes. And they just send you on down for a week. And you get to fly around with some T6s and shit. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So you think you have it all together, but it's actually someone else is just paying for you there, and you're like, oh wait, maybe if I had to pay for this, I probably wouldn't be here. Shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I had to pay for my flight from New York to Seattle, but then I got reimbursed.
Okay.
Because if the Navy was going to fly me for free, it would have been that day out of Providence.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm in the Northeast.
I'm gonna stay here for a day
I want to
or
explore
two.
a little bit.
Yeah, dude. It's not rare. Everyone's just in New York. Or not common. Like it's not like everyone just I'm in New York. How the hell did I end up here? Like it's fucking hard. It's way out of there. People who end up in New York are trying to be there, unless you live in Rhode Island, in which case it might be an accident.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if you know this. The Statue of Liberty is like still contested between New Jersey and New York. Who the fuck owns that?
I think it's like the water around it is New Jersey, and then the land itself is New York, or something like that. I don't know.
Man, I don't politicians need to quit that shit. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Someone just decide it's New York. Everyone thinks of New York as the Statue of Liberty. Just fucking stop. Mm-hmm. We're done. We're done with this argument. Stop. New Jersey. You have Jersey Shore. Okay. You have the TV show. That's about as much as that small ass state deserves. Okay. There's like 3 of you there.
Yeah.
Did I just lose all of my listeners in Rhode Island? Whoops.
So can you like tell where people are listening?
Oh yeah. There's demographic sheets and everything. I can see where everyone's downloading from, where they're listening from, everything.
So what do you average, I guess, per podcast?
What's that?
So what do you average usually per podcast?
Well, I have 4 different podcasts, so it depends. It's a couple thousand, depending on the podcast. Yeah, like my best podcast that is grossing the fastest is it's called Better Life, and it's my friend Paul and I, my cousin Paul and I. We just talk about sports and MMA and all that shit. And that one, obviously, MMA is like the biggest thing right now, so everyone's downloading that. That one's blowing up quick. But this is like my second biggest one. This was my biggest one until like last month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how many people I'm reaching out to.
Quite a few people. Try not to think about it though, because then it gets weird.
All right. Yeah, I guess it is kind of weird now to think about it.
Yeah, once you start thinking that you're on stage and not just talking to a friend, it's like, I don't want that. Yeah. I try not to pay attention other than just the end of the month shit that I have to do for the books. Otherwise, I'm like, oh fuck it, I don't need to look at this. Yeah, it's good stuff though, man. It's good. You're gonna love it when you start your podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that up and running. I think we're gonna try and start this weekend.
You should start
actually recording.
Start describing it. We didn't talk about what it actually is.
So basically, it's me and my roommate, and he's like a pretty conservative guy. It's like I'm liberal, and so it's like sometimes we'll just be like having conversations, and we'll just like start just like sprawling and just and just like going at it.
Little ideology
it starts, it ends.
Yeah,
like we go back to hanging out.
Little ideology battle. Those are good. They're good. They're healthy for you. People need to hear that shit. So I think it's gonna be good. Do you have a name for it?
It's called Hostile Talk.
Oh yeah, Hostile Talk. You told me that. My bad.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fucking.
It's one of those things like it's an inside joke between us, and we're just never gonna explain it.
Well, you already did last episode. I understand it now.
I guess. Well, kind of. Either way.
I get you. Dude, it's gonna be dope. Though. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be good. So you're gonna start this weekend, and then you were saying you were gonna start on YouTube, but
yeah.
Okay, is that still your plan, just to start there?
We're just gonna throw it out there in general, just so it's more accessible.
Okay.
Because not everybody has Spotify, but everybody can get YouTube.
Well, I'll get you a place to get an RSS feed, because it'll go to like Google, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Giovanni, Podcast Hub. It'll go to like every. I'll help you. We'll get you the distance. We'll get you where you need to go. We'll get you listeners.
Right.
just YouTube, like I said last time, YouTube does not. They don't care about individual. I don't think I actually talked about this on the air last time, but like YouTube has very much changed, and like you don't get the growth that you used to get as like an uploader. Back in the day, like individual uploaders got like the spots and like the recommended videos.
Like
Now
Chocolate Rain guy.
it's not the case anymore. Now it's just like only verified accounts and like Billie Eilish, who I don't even think she's on there, but like just big names and people who everyone already knows about are on YouTube now, and it's like, well, fuck, if I wanted that, I'd watch E Entertainment. Like I don't need, like everyone's on YouTube to avoid the regular ass people on TV, you know? And
Yeah.
it just seems to be where YouTube's heading, and it totally sucks. I wish they'd stop.
Last thing is like Jimmy Fallon doesn't need more help getting views.
No, he doesn't. That's a dude. All these news stations too that are taking like people's videos and then re-uploading it to their channel with like WBAY5 big watermark on the. It's like that's not your video. That's not your video. That's not yours. You can't just take it and upload it. You fucks. Well, it's under copyright fair use for internet and yeah. I know you legally can. Doesn't make it right. Like it's
I don't think I've uploaded anything since 2013.
You used to be able to beat your wife on a courthouse step in front of a judge, and it was totally legal. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's okay. In fact,
I was trying to figure out where you're going to go with that.
in Wyoming, you can still do it. That's why, and that's a law in Wyoming.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone would actually like allow it to go through, but like in Wyoming, if you take your wife to the courthouse and beat her on the steps in front of a judge, completely legal.
Damn.
Gotta change some laws, a little updating.
Yeah, the stuff that's still on the books.
That's a question I want to ask you, actually. What do you think should be done? Because the United States, obviously, we have a problem where, like, the average American commits 3 felonies a day and has absolutely no idea that they did it. Because we have such a long law, and, like, our law books are so big that even lawyers don't even know what the fuck's in all of them. Like, do you think expiration dates on laws is a good thing? Or, like, how do we solve, like, old-ass laws that are still causing problems to this day?
I think that should just be like revisited periodically, because sometimes it's like I get why it made sense back in the day, but now it's just like the whole, like that thing in Wyoming, for example.
So, do you think it's
like
up to like
20 years.
every other Congress has to review the books, or like what do you think? How do you think it should be handled?
I think a lot of it is just just case law. You gotta wait till somebody's dumb enough to do something, and then.
Well, that's kind of the way that we're handling it now is just case law, and then hope it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court to change the law, and a lot of times they don't even hear the case. So it's like, well, whatever the district court said or the appellate court that's what's gonna fucking stand then, and it's like, well, shit, it's I feel like there's got to be a better way than just those guys don't want to hear it, so the law stands. What 9 people don't want to listen, so now 350 million have to just go with it? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, there has to be something else that we can do.
Yeah. Well, it's like, sometimes.
Know what that is.
Yeah. It's because, it would take too much time to go through every single law every 20 years,
Yeah, it would take. You think, okay, I'm trying to think of, like, on the spot here. Maybe, like, every other Congress addresses this block of laws. Like, every Congress, and the next Congress handles this. The next Congress, that's tough because then you have people like, well, the Democrats handled the infrastructure and the Republicans handled the military, and then you've got, that situation. So, yeah, I guess that wouldn't work either. I don't know.
We're just kind of screwed, I guess.
That wouldn't work either. Shit. Yeah, unfortunately, we still have to get by the whole part where we're all human beings still. And that seems to be the crutch here, is that we don't really understand that humans are completely emotion decision-basing people. Even if we pretend to be, like, a lot of times we pretend, like, no, it's fact. Some things are fact. A lot of things are opinion written in a study that they found on Google that backed up what they said. Like, that's generally what I'm seeing most days now. It's like, I Googled my opinion, found a study from some random country, and here it is. I found it. It's like, you can find a study for anything these days.
Facebook posts are even worse.
From freedomeagle.government or whatever, and like everyone just shares it like it's fact. Yeah, this is an aborted fetus, and it's like a full-grown baby. It's like, no, it is not. Come on, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
I should.
There's different stuff that it's just like it's just so over the top. You're just kind of like, how could anyone actually think?
Because they do. Are we there? Looks like we might have lost connection here for a second. Hang on.
I think I lost you there for a sec.
Are you back? Let me pause this. We'll get this fixed. I'll be right back, everyone. All right, we solved it. We fixed it. Little internet connection issue. We're good now. We're here. That shit happens, man. Oh well. So what were we talking about? I forgot. Who cares? Let's start over with something
Yeah.
cooler. Let's start over with something cooler.
So that was your 2020.
Dude, yeah, actually we should talk about these past years. How has it been for you? How has the pandemic literally been for you?
So basically, I started 2020 with a resolution. Basically, what I was going to do is I was going to try and do at least one big thing every weekend, so I don't waste a single one.
Got it.
And that usually meant, like, in my mind, like live events,
Going somewhere, doing something.
going to historical places, things like that.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I kind of lived up to it.
Very
It's
cool.
like I was going to the gym every single day, because that was another thing too. It's just
Johnsy,
kind of like,
hell yeah, dude.
oh yeah. See, the thing is, I was going to the gym every day because for Halloween I was going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, I saw. The belt and the 360.
That was one of my main motivations to go every single
Austin
day. It was just that
316 on your
stupid goal
t-shirt.
that I had in my mind.
That was funny. That was funny.
Yeah. And also, it was like I was trying to be in shape and everything too back then, just because it's like, after everything that happened, I never wanted to be like limited by my physical abilities ever again.
Oh yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm never gonna, let anything like that happen. So it kind of gave me a complex in that manner, which it was a positive one.
It's a good complex to get into, man. Staying in shape is a great complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ever since I decided that I was not gonna be fat again, because I remember, I don't know if you remember, but like when I was a junior in college, I was 200 and almost 50 pounds. I was fat.
Shit.
I was fat. This was after you left, but before I left. So it was like that 1 year of like, I was so fat, it was unbelievable, dude. Like, I remember someone took a video of me downtown, and like my shirts didn't even fit. I was like protruding through my shirts. I was like, this is unacceptable. What the fuck? And so, yeah, it was bullshit. So, like, I will never be like that again. I'm at 165, and I am never going above 170 again. Fuck that. Unless I, like, start working out better. But, like, that was ridiculous.
I still try to keep my weight in regs. Just maintaining it. It's a good rule to live by. Just
Yeah,
like,
they're
don't
good
be more than
standards,
201 pounds.
They're good standards. Yeah, the military at least has good physical standards. I mean, they're not as strict as they used to be, but they're still good. Like, if everyone just would just take a fucking jog every week. Maybe stop eating so much bullshit. Everyone says, I don't eat McDonald's, yet you drive by and the fucking drive-thru is packed. Someone's lying. Someone is lying. Someone's going to McDonald's, Not everyone cannot be going to McDonald's because it's packed.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, I wish people would take care of themselves a little more. I think this pandemic would have been a little easier to handle if everyone took care of themselves just a little better. Just a little better,
Yeah. But no, it's, I was going to say, before the pandemic happened, it's like I was going to a lot of live events too. Like, I went to a Bernie Sanders rally.
Hell, yeah, I remember you sent me a picture of that. How was that?
It was pretty cool.
I've only been to like 2 political rallies, and it was the opposite. I went to Hillary Clinton's and then Donald Trump's, and I just pretended to be of the opposite party at both events just to see what I could do to people.
To stir it up.
I would just walk in, I would just be like I was at the Trump rally, and I like walked up with like I'm with her on my chest, and I was just like, can you believe this fucking asshole? And this guy just looks at me like, what? like same thing on the other side. Same thing on the other. Like, can you believe what this bitch did with her emails? And she would just be like, you fighting? Oh, it's the greatest. You can't buy that kind of humor, man. You can't.
Yeah. But no, it was kind of cool. Like, every walk of life was there. I met people that were firefighters.
Oh, yeah.
I met older people that, are just still into the movement. I met a lot of, younger people that were just, like, getting active in it. It was a pretty cool mix of everything. But, the weirdest part was, like, when Bernie actually took the stage, none of it felt real for the, the full 30 minutes he was there.
Just because he's like your hero or whatever? Like, he's someone you just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and, like, also, like, I was, like, watching a ton of Bernie videos at the time.
Oh, so, like, when you see
it all just kind of
like
felt like I was
figure.
watching a video.
Yeah. That's how I felt the first time I ever met Dane Cook.
Oh, okay.
Same thing. Well, it's just like when you're starstruck, it's like, oh, you're here! Like, I've only ever seen you on the screens!
And then it's over, and it's just like...
Yeah, and then an hour later, it's like, fuck, he's gone, man. Shit. That's it? Like, shit.
Yeah.
I sit on my computer and watch 5 hours of these things straight. How is it gone? Yeah.
It was just it was a pretty cool experience, I'll give it that.
Where was that? Was that in Fargo?
In Tacoma.
Oh, in Washington. Okay. Because I think Maine's, like, helped organize one in Fargo. Chris Maine's.
Oh, nice. That sounds like something you'd do.
I think he like legitimately helped organize a Bernie rally in fucking Fargo, North Dakota, which is like where you'll never, like,
Yeah.
it was.
Support, you know.
Yeah, I think it was like all college students showed up. I don't think anyone else came to the event. You know.
That makes sense.
Oh well. I mean, I think people. He wasn't my guy, but I do like that. Like, he gives a shit about people, and that's like that. Whether or not I agree with his policy or not, he's a good human being, and that's what I care about first and foremost. You know, he's a good person deep down, and I care about that.
Yeah, there's this one video. It's like 9 minutes long. It's like 30 years of his speeches, all like edited together.
Yeah, he's
And
never changed.
Same thing.
Dude's getting arrested in the 60s for helping black people. Dude gets arrested in the 80s for helping gay people. Dude's constantly getting arrested for helping the minorities. And here he is, like, in the Senate exfoliating himself with a filibuster trying to stop some shit legislation. Like, why do we have an 80-year-old man holding it down for everyone right now? What is going on here?
That's what pissed me off most about all those Bernie memes from the inauguration. It's like everybody loves him except for when he's trying to get into the White House.
I don't even think it was that. Like, he was so fucked over in the race both time by the Democrat Party. Like, It's unbelievable that he still went with, like, here's what I honestly hope. I want him to run again, and I want Donald Trump to run again, and I want Bernie Trump, and I want it to be an absolute fucking showdown. I want it to be, I don't care. Politics are over in this country. We're done. We're fucked. Game over. We're over the hill, everyone. Let's just see how we can make this thing go out in flames now. This thing will be fun. If we do this right, it can be fun on the way out. We just gotta really make this party a good time. I don't know. Do you think Trump's running again in 24?
I think he is, yeah.
I definitely think
I just don't really follow it anymore. I just got so burnt out from the 4 years. I'm just like, well, I'll check in every now and then, but that's about it.
It was an exhausting 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether you think it was because the media blew it up, whether you think it's because Trump blew it, whatever. The 4 years were fucking exhausting, period. Like, these past 4 years just sucked.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I think he definitely would have won a second re-election if he would have just shut the hell up occasionally and just not swing at every pitch.
I'd say it almost seemed like it wasn't like there was like a grand conspiracy to get him out of the office. It was just people who didn't like him that were able to just send a tweet, and they were just like, "Hey, I heard you don't like black people," and then he would just fucking, and then it's like, well, dude. Why acknowledge that? Why acknowledge that? You know, ignore people talk. You know how many things Joe Biden gets on a daily basis calling him a kid sniffer? You don't see him lashing out every day of the week at them, you know?
Exactly, that's the secret. He just keeps on trucking.
He's just sitting in his office and doing some paperwork and shit. Like, he's just doing stuff. You know? It's not hard to just, like, I say this at every job. You go to job, you go to work, you fucking go home. Like, it's not that hard to, like, just not cause a fuckload of problems while you're at work. It's just not. If you're the president, you're at work, buddy, period. It's like, stop causing problems. You know, his German Shepherd bit someone, and the media was like, his fucking German Shepherd bit somebody, can you believe it? It's like, dude, a dog from a rescue shelter had an incident. Oh, stock the presses. We better get the story out. Like this.
Remember Obama's tan suit and the whole nation was crumbling because of it?
And the fucking latte salute.
Oh, that too, or
started.
I don't know. There's just so many to pick from.
And it was the only scandal that he really got himself involved in was the ATF scandal and the Stuxnet scandal. Other than that, there really wasn't much to. In the Stuxnet scandal, that's not even. I wouldn't really even say that's his scandal. That was. I mean, that program was going on for 3 years before he had office. So, but it just got leaked when he was in office. But yeah, do you know what Stuxnet was?
What?
Do you know what Stuxnet was when that Iran when Iran was making their nuclear centrifuges?
Oh, didn't they like shut it down or something?
Yeah, we like overspun them and broke all their centrifuges, and then it came out.
That.
Yeah, but then the virus like spread to a fuckload of machines everywhere else too, and they were like, oh no, like a bunch of American companies got fucked, and yeah, it was because America made this. We made this bug called Stuxnet that you had to deliver on a USB thumb drive. And the Israelis were like, no, it should be a worm. We don't like that. So like they just made it into a worm and just sent it into the wild. And so it just fucking duplicated everywhere. A worm is a virus. So people listen. A worm is a virus that can self-replicate itself on other machines. It doesn't need a person to install it for you. Where like a thumb drive, you have to physically put it in the machine and it stays on that machine. So that was the way America wanted to do it, was just kind of shut down the towns from the inside. And Israelis were like, no. Scorched earth, motherfucker. And they just fucking tore the world apart with Stuxnet. Crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
But yeah.
What do you think the U.S., and this might be a completely outlandish question, but the United States and Israel has kind of a weird relationship. What do you think about that relationship? Because we sell them a fuckload of arms, but we also make a lot of money on them because they're just kind of a little America in the Middle East.
Yeah, I think honestly that's what's keeping them afloat.
Do you think if we left,
nothing else like that.
Do you think if we stopped helping that they would be kind of overran?
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like because they get it from all sides.
Right, because they're surrounded, dude.
There's no roads in or out. It's just.
Yeah, that actually is.
You can drive, but it's just there's.
What is that? Being a landlocked country like that, where everyone around you hates you, so the only way in and out, it's like the Berlin airlift. So you just got to constantly just fly in and out of there. That's the only way.
I think it's like shipping too.
Yeah, but fuck that. I don't want to be in a boat where all the Iranians are at and shit. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure that's why there'd be like allied military patrols in that area just to escort them at least.
I would be afraid. I would kind of be afraid to live there. I mean, they have the Iron Dome, and they've got like anyone who moves that isn't white, they'll just shoot them. So I get that. It's like I'm probably safe, but like it's still, that was a terrible comment. I should not have said that. That was mean, but it's true. They do. It's really bad how much the Israeli security forces. There was a journalist that went over there and like documented them just shooting people, just on the street,
just to do it.
Okay, you guys have a safe night. It's like, you're the one out here spraying people down. How are we supposed to have a safe night with you out here? The fuck?
But sometimes you have to be like realistic and look. It's like, are they being the aggressors or not? Sometimes they are.
That's the thing, man. They were on the defense, but then they did what America did. They took the Department of War. Remember? And then they were like, let's change it to the Department of Defense. And then we started attacking countries. When we started becoming the Defense Department, it's like defending yourself does not mean you just roll into Iraq when they do some shit you don't like. It's not defense. It's a complete offense. The United Nations, I don't think you should do that. Bush, well, they tried to kill my dad, so I'm going in.
Yeah, honestly, I think with Bush, I think Dick Cheney was the one running the show.
Yeah, dude.
He was just the headpiece.
Because he was with Halliburton. He was running the show of Halliburton. Steps down, joins the fucking White House, and he's like, let's kill these bitches. And then just, no bid contracts to Halliburton afterwards.
Yep. Also, Dick Cheney, how powerful he is. Like, he shot a man in the face, and the person that he shot apologized to him.
Dude, I'm so sorry you shot me in the face. That was I should not have been in the way of your gun bearer. That was me.
The inconvenience I caused you. Sorry.
Man, my face is fucked up for life, but I really shouldn't have ruined your political career for that. And he didn't even no one gave a fuck. It was literally
for like a week.
It was like an SNL joke that Saturday, and it was over. Everyone stopped caring after that. Crazy. What the fuck?
That's all you gotta do is you just gotta keep moving on.
Do you think so? Biden, one of his first military acts in office was to bomb Syria. I think everyone knows about that. I made a joke saying that the Syrian kids don't get a college scholarship anymore. It's a bad joke, but I said it. And what I'm just curious. So like, Iran launches rockets at Iraq at our bases, right? So then we go and blow up a base in Syria. Why?
Honestly, I have no idea. There's so much classified stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and it's like I don't know all the information, so I don't know if I can really make a judgment on it.
Right, but it's just like, I guess I'm just trying to understand what? You want the American people to keep backing you up? You're bombing Syria for shit Iran did to Iraq. There's like 3 different. What are you talking about? If you want us to keep backing up these wars, you're gonna. No one does. I mean, what is it? 80% of people are fucking stop.
Well, our credibility shot. It's like with especially with that all that happened with Iraq too. It's like when he said that Iran had weapons, all of a sudden, the global community was like, we're gonna need more proof.
Remember when? Yeah, when they blew up our tanker, and everyone's like, can we see some pictures? And it was like, okay, never mind. We made it. totally, like, right after they said that, Germany called bullshit, the UK called bullshit, Russia was like, are you sure we'll help if it's real, but we want to see some pictures. Didn't happen. Didn't fucking happen at all. Like, oh my god.
Yep, that's where we are.
That was like 2 years ago, a real life false flag attack that we got to see live and in person. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? People.
Sometimes I wonder if like America's kind of like that one athlete that just like, you know, got too used to taking steroids and it got them to a peak level, and now it's just like, you know, our heart's just not
Mark McGuire.
able to keep up.
Yep, America is the Mark McGuire of the fucking military. We're just we're a couple of Barry Bonds. We're forgetting our name, but we're gonna make it to the Hall of Fame. But everyone's gonna know what we did to get there. Everyone's gonna know exactly how many steroids we took to get into the Hall of Fame.
A couple of people that, you know, got paid off with NDAs to just not talk
Pretty
about
much.
the time they got into a fight with them outside of a bar.
Do you question about the security like of the United States? So we have like some of the most advanced security. Obviously, we have the NSA, CIA, FBI, DEA, fucking ATF, all these three-letter alphabet boys. Do we need all of these agencies, or are we way too fortified?
I think the agencies still have a lot of use just because, you know, it's like America's uninvadable. You know, you have two oceans, heavily populated coasts on both sides, huge military presence on the shore. We're uninvadable, but it's the real attacks I think are going to be like cyber attacks.
That's
you
what
know,
I'm
they can
that's
shut
what I'm
down power
thinking, man.
grids.
I mean, we were talking about that last time. What if a power grid decides to just shut down because someone attacked our power grid? And we were talking.
I hope you have 2 weeks worth of food on hand. You know, that's all I goes.
People understand, like, when Texas went under, the gas pumps didn't work. You couldn't go in your car to turn on the heat because people didn't have gas. Like, not everyone had a generator. Houses didn't have the insulation like northern houses have, so they froze their fucking asses off down there. Like, it was kind of shitty to see all my friends and family back in the Midwest like, oh, how you don't like the winter, Texas? What's that like? It's like, what's that like? It would be like if you went into their summer completely out of shock. That's what it would be like. You'd have absolutely no idea what to fucking do with yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's just like people should have learned with the pandemic, you know, because it's like when it first started, and everybody was like panic buying, and all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, I need to buy a bunch of stuff." But when the second wave hit, you know, it's like I went to Costco one day, just a random Friday. I was going to get a rotisserie chicken and go back home. That was it. And I got to Costco, parking lot packed, outer rim, even. There's no spots left, and I'm like, "Hell's going on?" And Oregon just shut down again, you know, right before that. So everybody thought that Washington was going to do the same thing. So I think that's what I got with the most disappointed at, you know, with people around me. I'm just kind of like, did you people not learn a single lesson from this whole thing? You could have restocked during the entire period, but nope, all of a sudden you got to go back into panic mode, and it's just like...
Well, that's a big problem that I'm seeing too, like a lot of, because I don't live in the nicest area of Vegas. I mean, I signed this lease before I even moved in, which is not a good idea. Let me just reach out to everyone. If you're thinking about signing a lease before you move, it's not smart. My first night living here, my neighbor got killed. Very first night.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 7-Eleven was the 7-Eleven right there on the other side of that window was robbed at gunpoint, and the police came in and shot him so many times that it was like just a fucking mess. Like it was, like that's where I live. So I don't remember exactly what my point was actually. I don't remember, but either way, I guess I'll just make that point. What were we fucking talking about? We were talking. Like people here just don't have. We're talking about people like supplying and buying up things in time or whatever. Well, in Vegas is still shut down for the most part. Like it's open, but not really. So like a lot of people,
do.
I mean, most of the people who live in my building haven't had their rent paid in 3 months. I'm like, my landlord is pissed. Like most people just don't have money, you know. So I think a lot of people are just broke as a motherfucker. Plus, all these unemployment offices are going around and demanding like that all their money gets returned from all these people who are on. Have you seen those stories?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Employers.
Well, when I lost my job at the construction place, it's like I was out of work for about a month, and I never once had to use unemployment. And it was kind of nice because like I got a temp job at working at a warehouse, just putting shipping labels on boxes and putting boxes in carts.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed that job. Because when I was there, I didn't have a company email address. I just showed up every day. I did my
Move
basic
some
job,
boxes and go home.
and then I left.
Isn't that nice?
And I got in great shape in the process. Because when you're lifting 40-pound boxes all day, you're going to get jacked from it.
Well, my previous employer, who I'm not going to say their name, but I worked for a company that worked inside of other companies. So, like, we mixed ink and colors for other, like, a printing company is, like, printing dog food bags, let's say, and they need their ink matched in perfect colors. We would come in and get their ink for them and perfectly match it. Before I got let go, everyone was talking in the office like, "Oh, we're probably going to get rid of someone." You know, the schedule, because they changed the schedule. They changed a lot. Everything was just changing with the pandemic, as you know. And one day I walk up and they just like walk me out the front door immediately, and I'm just gone. I didn't get paperwork. I didn't get shit. So I apply for unemployment, get my unemployment, whatever. They contested with my unemployment office saying that I don't remember. They said something else, basically that I'm not eligible for unemployment somehow, and then they took away my unemployment. And so I have to go like to court with a hearing now and be like, no, like here's really like literally I just walked out. I have no fucking.
Wow.
Yeah, so like that's happening to a lot of people. A lot of people's jobs are going after them for being on unemployment. It's like, fuck you. Oh, and by the way, this company that let me go, they were then subsequently let go by the company that hired them. I'm like, none of you have your jobs either, fucks. Good. I sent a text message to my former boss, and I was like, hey man, heard you screwed the pooch. How's unemployment treating you? And he didn't text me back.
Yeah, it's like out here, it's just like, I like living below my means. That way, if I do have to take a lower paying job, like, I survived the whole thing pretty comfortably, even though I was just making minimum wage. Which out here is 15 an hour, but still.
17? What? Wait, what?
15 an hour.
15. I thought you said 17 an hour. I'm like, fuck, I'm packing up. We're shit. That's not bad. 15 an hour? Fuck, that's actually really good.
Well, I mean, once you get acclimated to, how much things cost out here, it's a little bit, because I have gotten acclimated to how expensive Seattle is. Like, at first I was like, how much for a meal here? And then I was like, yeah, it's a quality burrito and a drink for $14.50. That's what it should be.
And then, yeah, but if you're being paid, so, like, if you're being paid, so just be honest, like, you're being paid more per hour, is the cost of life over pricing your income, or are you still making more than the cost of living is?
I have to live by different standards. Like, right now I live in a house with, like, 5 other people.
Okay.
So it's just like, as opposed to having my own 1-bedroom apartment that I could comfortably afford, I have to kind of settle for this.
I get you.
But at the same time, I think my rent here is like $800 a month.
For your share?
Yeah, for my share.
Is it a pretty big house?
Oh, yeah, it's 6 bedrooms. So it's not like we're cramped or anything.
It's a pretty big house. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, well, he was able to section off one room and turn it into 2.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, this place here, this is like I live in this, it's like I don't even know. It's like a 1-ish. It's like a studio, but they built this half wall right here, so like it's kind of half of a room over there. That's like where
okay.
So it's like a studio 0.5 bedroom. I think it's like $675 a month to live here.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad, except for my neighbors get killed. Other than the random murders that occur around me on a regular basis, it's not bad.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah.
There's a reason the walls are brick. Ricochet bullet, fucking bing. Okay, no worries. I'm safe. We're good.
Yeah. No, luckily I lucked out. Got like a good neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, if I wanted to go, like this same place in a nice neighborhood would be $1,200.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just because I live in the ghetto. I live in the shithole. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a dude tripping on heroin outside when I went to bring my trash out this morning. And, what do you do? Walk by them. They try to say hi. They're like, and then you're just like,
So yeah, right now I'm just trying to save as much as absolutely possible.
Do you have any plans for the future? What do you want to do? Do you want to like trade stocks? Do you want to do anything like that, or what do you want to do?
I like trading stocks, but more as like a hobby.
Yeah, dude, stock trading's fun. It is fun.
Yeah, because I like one of the biggest ones that I saw, and I that's the thing about stock trading is you have to have the right personality for it.
Right.
Because it's not really the money that you make that's great. I mean, it is. It's a nice little bonus. It's the money that you didn't make that sticks with you. Like, I still remember the biggest one that I slept on the bench for. It was Caesar Entertainment Group.
They just got bought out by Eldorado.
Mm-hmm, they did. And it was right when the pandemic happened and everything got shut down. So everybody just fled their stocks.
Yep. You
I can tell you exactly
bought the
where
shit
I
out
was
of
when it
those
was
stocks.
$3.25 a share.
$3.25? I would have bought like
3.25.
100 shares. Because it's way more. What is it now? That's like... Uh-oh. You might have just pissed me off a little bit. Let me check. Oh, God.
Okay, I already know the answer, and it's super depressing.
Oh, God.
Yep, I sat on the bench for that.
It's $100 right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they did it with this thing called in stocks where it's like you can reduce the amount of shares that are available, and so it ups the value of the other
Yeah,
ones.
stock buyback.
So it's not like it was just like an even,
No,
it's like
but
it didn't jack up that much.
First
But
of
no.
all, why are stock buybacks still a thing? What the fuck? Those gotta go. Those gotta go, man.
Well, it's a rich person's game. Even like amateur traders like me, they call it dumb money.
Dumb money?
Yep, just dumb money. It's just your average guy. That's why the whole GameStop thing, GameStop,
GameStop was fun.
interesting.
I had a good time with that, man. I had a good time.
Oh, did you trade in or?
Oh yeah. I made $160 on GameStop. I made $200 on AMC, and I made like a lot of money on Bitcoin.
Wow.
Bitcoin. If you aren't buying Bitcoin yet, everyone buy $10 of Bitcoin right now. You can afford it because I guarantee you next year at this time that Bitcoin will be worth at least $100.
I don't know. I'm still not on the whole Bitcoin
You
thing.
should be.
It's just too volatile.
What do you mean? I bought Bitcoin at like 75 cents a piece, and it's at 60 grand.
Well, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay, last year at this time it was $7,000. It's $60,000 a day.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's gonna, it's gonna get too big again, and then it's gonna crash,
And then it'll get huge again, and then come down like any stock. But like it's going up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you just hold it for a year, you're gonna make a shitload of money on it. There has yet to be a time period in Bitcoin where you couldn't buy and then sell for like 1,000% more than you bought it for. It's worth it. Just try it. Just try $10. If you don't believe me, just put in $1 maybe. See where that dollar gets you.
make $10 someday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you don't, just start small. Just look at the game. Just watch the market. Just look at the game small, and then if you see like right now, I think it's at 53K. I bought like 100 Bitcoin because of that, and it's gonna go up to 60K, and I'll sell it there. What's his ass from the Lions traded half of his NFL salary in for Bitcoin instead, so half his 13 mil is in Bitcoin. And he brought his 13 mil to 60 mil. He's now one of the top 10 athletes in the game, and he's at the fucking guard.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Bitcoin is good. Trust me. Just trust me. Put in $1 and see where it gets you, Johnsy.
Well, so for me, it's like I just don't know how usable it is because it seems like it's just one of the things that collects value, and you can't go to Jimmy John's and pay in Bitcoin, for example.
Here you can. Vegas takes Bitcoin.
Oh, Jimmy John's takes Bitcoin.
Everyone takes Bitcoin here. There's Bitcoin ATMs. There's all sorts of shit here. Yeah, it's growing, dude. New York, you can use Bitcoin. DC, you can use Bitcoin. Miami. I'm trying to think. There's like some other major hubs that accept Bitcoin. Some places in Minneapolis even accepted Bitcoin. Yeah, dude. It's not all drugs anymore. We're starting to get useful things with Bitcoin. Well, drugs are useful, but you know what I mean.
That's funny.
Christ. We're at 53 minutes again, Johnsy.
Yeah. It just goes by.
We got to talk more. So your podcast is going to be called. Is your roommate available to step in for a minute?
Oh yeah.
Let me pause this. You can go grab him quick. We'll be right back, folks. All right, we're back. He's in the shower, so it's going to be a minute. No, let's talk about pandemic adventures then. Yeah,
so basically, once, like I said, that whole resolution that I had where I was going to do one big thing every weekend, well, that kind of went to hell in a handbasket, when everything shut down.
Yeah.
So I just got in my car and I just went all over. Because that's the thing about the state of Washington is like you have desert, you have rainforest, you have the coast, you have mountains. I mean, it's just pretty much anything you can think of, it's here.
Yeah.
And it's within 3 hours of where I live. So that's kind of what I just did. I just got in my car and I just went and just took pictures.
Say, you got your Instagram's looking pretty dope. Where all the places that you went during the pandemic? Any notable places?
So basically, I can just kind of scroll through it right now.
Do it. My friend Anthony was on here before, and he went to go check out fucking giraffes and elephants and all this crazy shit.
Oh, nice.
Man, seeing an elephant in the wild, he would just like walk up and just be like, "What's going on?" And these elephants would just be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like it was crazy. It was crazy. I would be afraid I'd get smashed.
That's funny. So, the first place that kind of kick-started this whole thing is I went out to the coast, and it was like 10 days before I was going to lose my job at the place that does the windows and siding.
Gotcha.
So just take my mind off of it. I just kind of got in the car and just went out because it's only 2 hours to get to the coast from where I live.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was kind of fun just for the day. I just kind of forgot about everything, so I just figured I would keep the ball rolling. I took a lot of great pictures that day. It was like too much for one post. And so I just kind of spread it out throughout the week, and people seemed to like it. And so, okay, where else can I do this at?
What is the ocean like up by you? Because down here, being by the ocean is like, it cools you off, but it's still very warm.
Yeah, well, maybe the Washington coast is a little bit different just since we're so much further north.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just cold, all the time.
Freezing cold. Have you swam in the ocean yet?
No, I just put my feet in.
Dude.
Well, the thing is, the current out here, like the shoreline that we have is so flat.
Okay,
so it creates like a pretty big undercurrent.
Oh, you don't want that shit.
So if you get stuck out there, you're gone.
Fucked. Yeah, you don't want that. That's not what it is here. They've got this whole area. There's like a little net. You can just kind of chill inside of it off the LA coast. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they mustn't have that up. Is there any like public beaches on the coast up in like the northern area?
Yeah. So actually, there's quite a bit of public beaches. Well, the coastal area in the state of Washington is a state highway.
Oh.
You drive right on the beach.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be so cool to be on the highway and just check out the beach the whole time that you're chilling. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
There are some areas that are zoned off because they're like nature preserves, so you can't really drive through those parts. Or there's also rivers that get in the way.
What? Do you guys have national parks in Washington?
Yep, we got Mount Rainier. It's kind of one of the famous ones.
Yeah.
And then Olympic National Park, North Cascades.
Olympic National Park. Have you been there?
I've only seen it.
My brother went and rode like the sled. I can't think of the name, but it's like the sled that you go down from the Olympics, like the single body sled. I don't know, but he like went to the Olympic Park and like had some of the Olympics from like the LA Olympics or whatever. Or no, I must be thinking about something completely different. I'm thinking it was the Los Angeles Olympics that he went to like ride the sluge or what is that? What is the sled called that you ride?
Toboggan, something like that.
No, because that's like multiple people. That's like 5 people. It's like just the single person. That one dude, like in Rio, like flipped off the or not Rio.
I know it's
Vancouver. Like ripped off the side and like slammed into a pole or whatever the fuck, and it was crazy.
Something like that,
yeah. Of course, that's what I remember about it. The guy that whipped off the side and died. Multiple gold medals later, I'm like, remember that dude that killed him? No, yeah.
Yeah. But then Eastern Washington, I like going out there too, just because a lot of it's desert. It's just kind of fun to see something other than green for once.
I mean, I would prefer the opposite. All I see here is fucking desert. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it is. If you're in one spot for too long, you want to see the other.
Yeah, like moving from the Midwest to the desert has been quite the change.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different. What is the culture change between the Midwest and Seattle? Like, is it pretty drastic, or is it just kind of like okay, or like what is it like when you first drop your feet into the city again after being gone for a while?
I don't know. Here, it's always kind of changing, just because Seattle's, a city that's changing.
Okay.
Because it went from a maritime history to now it's a tech center.
Really?
Oh yeah. So basically, Seattle was a pretty big maritime and logging city.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's kind of how they got their start, and then it's once tech moved in, all of a sudden people just came in from everywhere, and it just completely lost its culture.
Okay.
It kind of feels like, the Seattle area kind of feels like 4.5 million people that all live in the same geographic area, and that's it. That's the only thing that binds any of us together.
Okay. That's strange. That's strange.
The Midwest, they have a culture to themselves, and I like that a lot. I miss
Midwest. The Midwest is its own little country. It's like there's their own little place up there. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Honestly, it's out in Washington, it's a lot of people don't really get out to meet other people either.
Yeah, dude, I've noticed that, believe it or not. The further away from the Midwest you go, the more people that want to be left alone and not talk to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Just so weird.
I'm surrounded by natural beauty, but it's Mount Rainier is not going to hang out with you on a Saturday night.
No, it's definitely not going to shoot back a couple of shooters. No, absolutely.
Yep.
That's funny.
No, that's just that's why I want to move back to like Minneapolis someday.
Well, Minneapolis to me was changing so fast for even the 1 year that I lived there. I mean, Christ, I don't even know what the city's like anymore because it's so different. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of cops anymore, like at all, which is kind of.
I can imagine they wanted to leave.
Well,
why would you?
though the city council unanimously decided to get rid of the city police.
Oh.
So.
How are they handling like the day-to-day
That's
stuff?
what I'm saying. Like people don't understand. It's like you can't just fucking freak out and get rid of the cops because this guy did. Like what he did was fucked. Is there a problem in policing? Yeah, there probably is. Do I know the science and facts behind it? No, I'm not I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But I do know that a city council that decides to disband a police department is going to make people, one, leave your city and flock because no one's going to want to live somewhere. I mean, there are videos of dudes just walking and then just getting the shit beat out of them on the street for no reason. Just jumped. No one stole anything. They just beat the fuck out of them and left. Like,
Wow.
what the fuck is that about, So, yeah, I was, after all the protests and stuff, and, like, when the city council decided to get rid of the police, I was like, I'm moving. I'm gone. I'm not sticking around to see how this one ends up.
Yeah. Well, that's like Seattle. They're losing officers left and right just because the morale's so low.
Well, yeah, you can't hate them all the time. Yeah, like, people don't get, like, yes, there are bad police officers. But I've also had a bad person work on my fucking car, and I've had to come back and be like, my car is broken still, what the fuck? Like, there's people who do shitty jobs in jobs, believe it or not. That happens all over the place. Problem with the police department is that they're protected by, like, so many union layers that they can be shitty and keep their job. That's really the only thing that it comes down to. If you could actually just get rid of the shitty cops, people would love them more, but it's just the union protects them so hard that there's not much you can do.
Yep. Unfortunately, but...
So, who knows? Who knows? I don't know the solution. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I just talk shit into a microphone. I have no idea what I'm People, if you're listening to my advice, you got the wrong hero. Pick another hero. I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. I'm a comedian, man. I'm not your hero.
So is there like a comment section with these, or is it just...
Always.
Always, okay.
I'll get inbox messages of people like, Cool.
Can't wait to hear the comments from this episode.
Who knows? A lot of the comments are spam, though. You get a lot of people who are like, check out my pictures. And then they'll, like, post a link. They get a lot of shit, too. And this is on my third YouTube account. So people don't know. I'm on my third YouTube account. I'm at 66 subscribers now. I'm getting back up. Hooray. I've gotten both of my previous ones shut down because of me imitating former politicians and relatives of politicians. So, whoops. Yeah, you can't dress up as Hunter Biden and pretend to snort cocaine and talk about how your father treated you with the utmost respect and blah, blah, blah. You can't. My father worked his ass off! And just shit like that, and YouTube was like, you're gone.
He was actually in the Navy as an officer.
Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, shocking.
The thing is, he was a direct commission, so he's going through officer development school.
Oh.
And he popped hot on a test for cocaine within like a month and a half of being in.
Yeah.
And I did the math. Like, ODS is a 6-week course, and he popped hot a month and a half after commissioning. So that means, like, he went out his graduation night.
Yeah, he went out found coke immediately.
Yeah. Like, almost immediately.
But after 6 weeks, wouldn't you be kind of good? Like, after 6 weeks, wouldn't you kind of be like,
You'd think.
Because that's like a standard like detox place is only like 4 weeks, or sometimes even 2.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell? 6, and he's like, I gotta get my nose sugar, and he just goes and gets it. Like, okay, yeah, you. What's the story with the other one? He had another kid, right? Joe. He had Hunter and Bo.
Bo, yeah, that was the one that like died of cancer or something like that.
Bo got cancer and died. That's unfortunate. Can you fuck that, dude? Getting cancer or just fuck all of that, man. Cancer is such a son of a bitch. Do you think we'll ever like actually get rid of it?
Honestly, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be who has money can be fine and who doesn't are going to die. Pretty
much like when Ted Cruz fled to Cancun. I'm just like, once climate change really starts to pop off, that's what people with money are just going to do. They're just going to go to the spots where it's still livable, and the rest of us are going to have to deal with it.
So I was kind of shocked by Joe Rogan saying like, well, what is he supposed to do? Turn the heat on? No. But what he could be doing is the shit that AOC did in New York, which is raise $4 million for Texas, not even her state. Like,
I know. Honestly, I don't get the hate for her. Like, I really
because
don't.
she's young.
I get why she's annoying to some people, but
Because she's young. I mean, does she make mistakes? Yes. Are they as big as the other assholes in Congress have made? No, you just haven't heard about all their mistakes. They're covered up pretty goddamn well. You know, AOC, like, the biggest mistakes that she makes is she cares about, like, her, like, social media image. Because she's 28 or 30 or whatever the fuck she is. Like,
yeah.
She's young. Of course she's going to care about her social media image. I guarantee you, dude, Donald fucking Trump cared about his social media image. Yeah. Why didn't anyone, like, I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. Like, you get it. You get what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, so she did stage that photo op at the cameras. Because she made the photo op for looking through a cage to talk about the migrant problem on the border, which is still going on to this day. Like, really, really bad, by the way. Like, huge.
Yeah, they just renamed them.
Yeah, we just
youth detention centers.
Yeah, they're not kids in cages anymore. Now it's a youth detention center, and it's like that. Thank you for bringing that up, because that is not a political issue. There are actually human beings, like lots of them, kids just at the border, no parents, no food, on the ground, sleeping on tinfoil. Like, guys, what the fuck? This is not a political issue. It's a humanitarian crisis, and we need to fucking figure this shit out. Like, people do not care as much as they need to care about this.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's so far removed from us. You know, we just don't think about it.
It's not far removed from me.
No, I guess, yeah, because you're in Vegas.
You see, like, it creeps in. Like, the aftermath of all this shit creeps in all the time, man. And I don't know the solution.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there really is, you know. They're going to keep coming. Not much you can do.
Like, it's so hard because, like, you know, the liberty side of me is like, we just need Ellis Island again. Like, just do it the way we had it with Ellis Island. If you're good, you can come in. If you're not, you leave. And we might even need that because the United States are having, like, 0 children right now. Like, no one's having kids, and we aren't going to have a population in, like, 10 years. So,
well, the thing is, like, raising a kid is such a fucking headache in this country, you know. It's like healthcare, it's going to cost, like, $5,000 to pump out the kid in the first place, and that's just the down payment.
Yeah. That's if you drive yourself to the hospital. Not if you that's not if you get an ambulance. If you get the wee-woo that taxi ride to the hospital, it's gonna cost you another $10,000 just to get there. Like, fuck's sake. I read a comment. Someone told me on the internet the other day. They were like, "The ambulance is not a taxi to the hospital. Understand this." And I was like, "Well, then what in the goddamn fuck is it, sir? Well, then what is it? If it's not a taxi to the where else does an ambulance go? What are you talking about? It's not a taxi to the hospital. What the fuck is it then?"
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is.
That's like, yeah. It's like, since I used to work in an emergency room, so I've seen people abuse ambulances, but for the most part, no, people don't abuse them.
I've never been in one because I don't want to be in one. Wait, I did go in. No. I've been in one, but that was when my head was really fucked up, and I don't really remember it. So, like, it's kind of blacked over. But, you know, the old car accident, smash your head into the fucking. My airbag went off like a second late, so, like, I hit the steering wheel, and then the airbag went off and punched me in the face.
Oh, that hurts.
You can see my forehead mark on the fucking steering.
That's funny.
It was so bad. That was terrible. That's funny in hindsight, though. I was like 16. I had my license for like 2 weeks. Fucking slam into the back of someone going 75.
Wait, you slammed into somebody that was also going 75?
No, so they were trying to turn or exit the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And just decided to slam on their brakes in the lane. Was like a good idea. And so everyone was like last minute, like, ah! Like trying to avoid this person, and I just didn't. Didn't see him until like that person in front of me did a quick cut, and by the time I recognized this, there's a stop car here. It's like, this is not going to end well. I'm in a '94 Saturn SL1. You know, it's basically plastic, styrofoam, and old brake pads from the old days. Like I mean, the tires were that thin. I mean, it was like fucking a wheelbarrow tire on that car. It was that was not stopping for shit. And so I hit him really, really hard. Hey, what's your roommate up to? Is he coming?
Yeah, I'll just go grab him really quick.
All right, we'll be right back, guys.
Door open, so.
All right, we're back. Nick has brought his friend Will with him. Will, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
I love the Snap-on sweatshirt. Was that $5,000?
No, it was actually free. I just had to sell my soul. I had to apply for credit, and he gave it to me. So
I do apply for credit and give it.
yeah,
I get it. So you guys are making a new
Eventually it was
podcast.
5,000.
You guys are making a new podcast called Hostel, right?
Yep.
Hostile talk. Yeah.
Hostile Talk, my bad. And that's going to be coming out next week or a week after, somewhere in that. And I'll plug it on my shows. I'll plug them on all my shows. But what are you guys looking to do with that? You guys are opposite-minded politically, but still friends. So are you guys just looking to basically share how you guys communicate with the world, or what is your plan here?
So basically, we're just going to start off kind of like just a general list of topics for the day, and then just kind of see where we devolve and after that point.
Well,
And devolved really is the right word to use, because as the night gets closer to an end, it does generally get a little bit crazier.
But
I mean, yeah, it's really just us, like just finding like little conversations that we might be watching a YouTube video or something that comes up, and next thing you know, we dive into this half an hour discussion, like we were talking about a little earlier about coleslaw
and how it's the greatest,
and why Americans hate it.
So coleslaw. So we were talking about coleslaw before we press play again here. There's a debate, and I'd like to hear some input. Is coleslaw only for women of 75 years and older, or can you, in your 20s, as a white man, eat coleslaw?
Well, some people live to defy stereotypes, bro.
We rise above. We rise together, homie. We don't. No, that's funny. I don't know. I've only ever had coleslaw once, so I really can't judge this.
See, for me, I like it because like you eat fried chicken, and it's like it's salty, and it just stays in your throat. And you eat the coleslaw, and it just washes it right out.
But what does coleslaw even taste like, really?
It's crunchy.
I was
don't know.
blackout drunk, so I don't really remember what we.
Have you ever had like mayonnaise and lettuce? Like put them together,
Oof.
and that's pretty much it.
So it's like the stuff that falls off your Subway sandwich at the bottom, and you just
Exactly. Yeah, that slop. You just pull it together. You're like, it washes down the rest of the sandwich.
gotta fucking shove it in your mouth and take a swig and take
Yeah.
it like a pill. I don't know. I've never had it, so I don't know. I've had instant mashed potatoes though, and those are fucking good.
Yeah, because mashed potatoes are king of all foods.
Are
That's
potatoes?
meat.
Potatoes are a vegetable, right?
I think they're called starches.
A
So I don't know
starch?
where that falls.
Because corn is a starch too, then, right?
Maybe.
Shit, man.
Corn
Everything
vegetable.
changed.
Well,
Plato's
I'm not
not a
doing
planet. Corn is in vegetables.
I just know the coleslaw sucks.
Like it's not available at the drive-thru. It's not a real food.
Well, have you guys ever been to like the chicken place? What is it? What the fuck is it called? Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, religiously. They used to be Saturday food.
Yeah, don't they have coleslaw?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure KFC. I know
KFC.
they've got
That's what I'm
coleslaw.
thinking of. KFC.
Yeah,
They have
because you get
coleslaw.
a family meal and it comes with the coleslaw, and
Yeah.
you're not allowed to substitute your coleslaw for more mashed potatoes, which I think's kind of shitty.
I
but-
love how pissed off he was that day.
Why aren't
too.
you allowed to substitute?
I don't know. It makes sense to me.
So you're gonna send me food that I'm not gonna eat and I'm gonna throw away? And I
Yeah,
have to pay
exactly.
for- What? What?
Well, something about KFC. It's not really southern. I think it's more just like Kentucky is it's one of the weird states where it's not really anything. It kind of depends on what direction you go. Like Missouri, for example. Missouri's like Midwest. It's the South.
yeah, it's in a gray
It's
area.
So I feel like that's Kentucky.
Well,
They're just like,
where's the line? The Mason-Dixon line?
Mason-Dixon? I learned. So did you guys know that Oklahoma is a panhandle? You know how it has that hand? That little thin strip? I learned last week why that's there. And it's because Texas used to go all the way up to the top, and they wanted to keep their slaves, and the Mason-Dixon line came down just a little bit. So they had to give that to Oklahoma so that they could keep the slaves.
Huh.
So that's why Oklahoma has a panhandle.
Damn.
The more you know.
Damn. That's expensive.
Isn't
That's
that
an
terrible?
expensive
That's a
trade-off.
lot of land to give up to keep your
Yeah.
fucking slaves, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even get to keep them.
Well, Missouri has a weird little.
And you lost the land. Suck on that.
Yeah, you guys don't get either thing. Fuck you. No, I love Texas
There's a
still,
little like
man.
notch at the bottom of Missouri. That's there because some rich property owner back when they were drawing the state line said like fucking hell I'm gonna live in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So they just dragged Missouri down a little bit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's the whole reason.
Money talks, dude.
It's like the calendar. I remember like the first time I learned, because when I was a kid in middle school, I was like, why is December not the 10th month? What the fuck? And I used to be like, someone who did this better get stabbed. And my teacher was like, I have such good news for you. The guy who did that did get stabbed. He got stabbed right in the
Yeah. That was the line.
Yes, he died. Excellent. Good. Oh God. Yeah, this sounds like a fun podcast already. I want to listen to it. I'm excited.
We'll have to record our first episode and see how it
Yeah, when we're
goes.
huge, maybe we'll give you a host, you know? So,
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. If you guys get bigger than me, I'm gonna hop on your network, throw my network away. Fuck my network. You guys have a better one. It's way more fun.
yeah. We'll just tag team our way up.
This is good shit,
Joe
man.
Rogan, watch out, you son of a bitch.
When you guys planning? Is Rogan even a podcast anymore? Like,
Once he went to Spotify, I stopped caring.
dude, yeah, dude. Here's the deal. When he went to Spotify, it's he just got out of sight, out of mind. It's not like I don't like him anymore. It's just like I'm not gonna go to open another app to listen to one podcast and then go back to my other podcast app and listen to all the other ones. Like, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. You can keep your 100 million, and when you're done, come on back to Apple Podcast and I'll listen again. But like, it's too much work. That sounds lazy, but it's just I'm not trying to fucking play this game with Joe because he wants his 100 mil. Like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him, but
No, if someone
gotta
offered
get
me
at the same
100
time,
mil-
you know, you get comfortable. That's like his home, right?
Well, if I got 100 mil, I would sell out immediately. Just putting that on the record.
Oh, yeah.
I would
I'd
sell
sell my head
out
up for
the
100 mil.
minute someone gave me $100 million. I am whatever they think. Whatever they want me to say, I'm doing it. I don't care. Hey, that's not a character. Dude, I want to see anyone in this world get 100 million and then just not change your personality afterwards. Go give it a shot. See how it happens.
I mean,
100,000, dude.
where do we draw the line? Yeah, 100,000? I'm having a 6-figure year.
I'm trying to think, like, what would it take for me to sell out all of my podcasts? What would it take? Like, probably 100K.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I mean,
gets,
are we talking about at his scale?
no, just where I'm at right now.
Oh, okay.
For Rogan to sell his podcast completely, it would be a very expensive pod. It's the biggest media market right now. Joe Rogan's podcast is bigger than fucking NBC News. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Bigger than they get more downloads than NBC, CNN, and Fox combined. Joe
Oh,
Rogan
well,
Experience.
Because he talks more sense.
That's crazy. It's like he's not even really a podcast. He's a fucking like
The news source.
He's like Oprah for
The
men. He's
media
just got
outlet.
his own channel. He's got the O Network. Sitting down with fucking people. Now, Lance, did you take steroids? Just sitting down with Lance Armstrong, giving him a talk. Like, who are you, Oprah? Get the fuck out of here. We're gonna forget about all the midgets you fucked backstage, Oprah? Remember that? You guys know? You guys don't remember? That happened. That happened backstage. Oprah fucked a bunch of midgets with Gail to get where she is today. She's stepping on the midget heads of the people behind her to get to where she was today. And that's what Rogan
Paying
did.
your dues. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Just
Rogan
paying the dues.
stepped-
I mean, when you have that amount of money, because she's filthy rich. Like,
Oh,
she probably
she's
paid
richer
her
than-
way out of that kind of thing,
Dude,
you know?
I remember when she was like, I'm giving up the Oprah show. 26 years just seems like the perfect number. And it's like, you weren't giving up shit. You made a TV network, dude. You stepped up. You didn't give up anything. You didn't stop the network. You said you made your show into a channel that people watch all day long now. That's all you did. You made your show a 24-hour network. You fucking lie to me about that.
Gobbled up their money, and now she's retiring.
Is
and
she
now she's
retiring?
Trying to look like the good guy.
Is she retiring? Is she done?
I mean, she doesn't have the show
Because she's
like,
still,
outside
like,
of her normal like philanthropy.
But maybe remember she made a religion.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah, one
So,
interview a decade.
That's all she's got to do.
Yeah.
Remember-
Keep her name in the papers.
I cannot believe, dude. Oprah #1 is like, Oprah, you are a queen. First of all, like it goes the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, and Oprah. Like there's the fourth prong on the cross. Like Oprah is up there. She's a deity. She's not one of us anymore. We understand this. But like, did you watch the interview with Meghan and Henry or whatever?
I only watched clips. I couldn't myself to watch it.
I had the hardest time. She's like, and basically, I asked if I could have the $100 million, and they said, it's like, what? You're okay. I'm sorry. You married into royalty. You get whatever the fuck you want at any time that you want it, and you're depressed.
Yeah.
Straight up, I'll marry your husband. I'll be gay right now for that kind of money. I don't care. Right now, I'll go to the redheaded husband. I don't care.
Actress to becoming a princess, which is every little girl's dream, and you act depressed.
They wouldn't give my son the title of prince. What are you, in a fucking storybook? You live in Colorado. Get the fuck out of here. Or like Canada or wherever they live now. Fuck out
where
of
the
here.
Dragons are, yeah.
Get out of here. Oh, they wouldn't tell my baby he's a prince. He's 2 months old! What did he do? Did he get in a sword battle? He didn't do shit. He doesn't deserve the title. Get the fuck. Was he a knight too while he's at it? Like, he's a fucking. He just got shit out like 2 weeks ago. He's not. He didn't deserve anything. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a prince. You don't hear me crying. God. The Royals.
Also, didn't we have a whole war about this, so we don't have to care about him?
Yeah, we stopped caring about what they said.
Why did anyone care about the royal family? What, a bunch of inbreds from Germany before World War II that changed their names? That's your royal family of England? A bunch of Germans that changed their name? Good luck. Good job. You guys nailed it. You fucking figured it out. Like,
And then they keep trying to bury the whole fact that Andrew was best friend, homies with Epstein.
oh yeah. Oh no. He did not know what was going on in that house. Okay, but here we have actually a picture of him, and there's actually a small girl on his dick right there. Well, that's Photoshop. Like, oh, shut the fuck up. No, get out of here.
Or maybe he was just kind of one of those people. It's hit Epstein's Island and be like Buffalo Wild Wings, and he's like, I only go there for the salads. I don't even go there for the wings. I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Dude, Epstein, first of all, can we all just agree right now that he didn't kill himself? That's my vote. He did not die the way that they say he died.
No, there's no way.
Well, the camera broke, the guards were gone, the suicide watch got turned off 2 nights before, but, all those convenient... Oh, and we roomed him with the biggest, buffest dude that's fit in this prison that has, 5 murders on his belt. Okay, sure. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
You're not allowed to challenge it, which is the fun part.
And then another autopsy comes in. They're like, oh no, this dude was strangled like a motherfucker. And they're like, it's fun because out here there's still people that on the overpasses have cups in the sign to say Epstein didn't kill himself every once in a while. That meme will never die. It's so good.
Oh yeah, it's like the Harambe meme of murders.
First of all, Harambe did start the pandemic. Let's just start that. If we wouldn't have shot Harambe, we would all be in Cancun with Ted Cruz right now. We would just be on our boats and having a good old time. The power grid would still be up in Texas. Think about the fun we could have had if they wouldn't have shot that gorilla.
Yeah, that's who we should suicide.
We should go find the dude who shot the gorilla and throw him in Epstein's cage and just be like, okay, everything's going to be fine. We just have to wait until a buff dude takes this guy out. We're going to be okay.
And then the night here, it'll be fine.
Remember,
we'll get you in the morning.
Well, imagine if people cared about Epstein the way they cared about that fucking dude who shot Cecil the Lion, the dentist. The whole world, freaking out, and then Epstein comes out and they're like, today's top story, Girl Scouts sell cookies. And it's like, what? What the fuck? And then that video comes out of the ABC host. I first heard about the Epstein case a year ago and was told to cover it up by my bosses. And it comes out and everyone's like... And
One day it's realistic that we could get that story. Somebody's going to talk one day.
Oh, for sure.
Just a click on the thumb drive. Just a video.
Yeah.
If somebody anonymously... someone within the IRS anonymously mailed Trump's tax records to the New York Post, or the New York Times. Obviously people are going to do shit that they aren't supposed to do if they're thinking it for the right move.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you got to get them before they get killed. That's the problem. That's the problem. They're all dying off. They're all dying off. Watch Prince Andrew. He's terrible plane accident last night. It's crazy. He was on his way to D.C. to testify and crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. Out of control, man, fucking wild. I don't know how that happened.
Like the Malaysia Airlines thing that just disappeared.
Dude, do you know how much heat I've gotten for that episode? Do you know I recorded an episode about MH370 with Larry Vance, the author of a book, MH370 Mystery Solved? And he did all the... He's a former... He was in charge of Canada's NTSB, their TSB, Transportation Safety Board. So he investigated Swiss Air 111. He investigated all these major air accidents. And so he wrote a book about MH370 to tell what happened because obviously something is not right about that. And everything he wrote in the book is oh my god, he figured the shit out. I publish it, everyone is fucking mad. What makes you think this guy knows? Well, did you listen to the podcast? No. Okay, well, get the fuck out of here. What do you fucking mean? Go read the book. Shit. It's on audio. Yeah. It's $1 for the audiobook. It's fucking good. I got heat for that one. People were angry. Think of the lives. Yeah, that's why we want it solved. What do you mean? So we just have to take their word for it? It's gone. It's in thin air. It's disappeared. The aliens took it. Oh, really? We can't find a fucking airplane? Are you shitting me? Yes, we can. Get the fuck out of here. Mm-hmm. People just want to be right, is what it comes down to. Because Australia and Malaysia, China, all the investigating parties, they had their mind made up that it was a high speed unpiloted crash into the ocean. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Because if it was, it'd be exploded into like a million parts, like Air Swiss 111, like every other high-speed air-water crash ever. And you'd find like shit going up on the shores, and there's like nothing. So they're like, okay, well, obviously it couldn't have been that then. No, it still was.
Yeah, the news said so.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you fucking talking about? I just gave you the evidence that says it couldn't have been that, and you're still like, what will it take? Well, I want the government to say it. Oh, that's your trustworthy source? Okay. That's your source? Okay, good. That makes
The
sense.
masks can come off once we find that flight. It's all tied together.
Dude, it is. Harambe will come back once we all figure out where MH370 is and we stop wearing masks. Harambe will rise from the dead and he'll maul the child like he was supposed to, and then we'll all get on with our lives. That child shouldn't have been saved.
Talking about this any further because I think we have it just about figured out. We're like Alphabet Boys are gonna be kicking in their doors.
Oh, straight up, they're already no.
Yeah.
I've been talked to by them.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've been talked to.
I'm watching this right now.
Not for anything like this, but like I've had people on my podcast with like some international drug trafficking charges and things like that. So I get talked to every once in a while. Hey, can you tell us about him? No, I can't. Sorry. Fifth Amendment. Sorry, leave. Thank you. Why would I tell you anything about the guy who just gave me his life story? Go listen to the podcast. It's fucking public. I'm not telling you anything more.
And it's like you can share it with all of his coworkers too.
Well, it was so stupid. Like, well, we want to know where his house address is. You probably know it more than I know it. I don't fucking... What, do you think I visited him? I don't fucking know this guy. It's Zoom. What does it fucking look like to you? Jesus. Anyway, we're at an hour and a half, Johnsy.
Yeah, like I said, time. That's the thing I didn't anticipate is how much time flies.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do a test run first before we do the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, it runs away from you.
Oh yeah.
Next thing you know, an hour goes by and it's like, whoa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You only covered 3 things.
Yeah,
6:30 p.m.
I
already.
think I haven't said shit the whole time.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you guys' podcast. It's gonna be fun. Like those banter podcasts are gonna be great. It's gonna be fucking great. Do you guys have a tentative release date for it?
I don't think we've even gotten that far.
Yeah, I mean, we know that it's going to be soon.
Okay.
It's going to be one of those that's going to be pretty last minute. I think when we decide to run the first one.
Even this plug, we were talking about it, and then 18 minutes before I went live yesterday, we came up with a name.
Yeah. Well, we settled on it. We came up with it weeks ago.
Well, the first one was Across the Aisle, because it makes sense. But I guess some congresswoman took it already.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's one already taken?
Yeah. So that's the hard thing about podcast names. Is you kind of have to dig deep at this point.
Hey,
sort of. You have to remember there's also 500 million podcasts or whatever. I don't know. There's a lot of podcasts. And a lot of them have one listener or whatever. Their mom listens to it or some shit. Fucking, if it's a small podcast and no one's taking any, if it's not monetizing, just fucking take the name. Whatever. There's 5 podcasts of the same name of every name at this point. You just have to find the good version of it. That's kind of what it comes down to now.
You just got to beat them.
Yeah, or just report their fucking podcast to the authorities saying it's, inciting violence or whatever.
Hate speech.
Yeah, they're inciting violence, and they just get shut down. Ah, I get the name. What's
About
up?
the fights, man. They're on to.
I get the name. What's up? Oh well. Sorry guys. Sorry about it. Sorry your podcast went under. Oh man. Well, anything else you guys want to say before I finish up here?
Good. Yeah, no, just thanks for having us on.
No, I appreciate you guys. It'll be fun. I'll make sure I blast out your podcast too on my Instagram and shit when it happens, so you guys get some listeners and shit.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it, man.
Dope. All right, everyone. This has been Nick and Will, and they're gonna make their own podcast very soon. Nick doesn't want any of you to follow him on Instagram or anything else, but Will, do you want anyone to follow you?
Probably not. Not right now.
No one's following these guys.
I haven't thought that far.
Okay. If they make a
I'm
podcast,
on Instagram. I'll just plug my own, I guess.
yeah, make an Instagram page for it, then they can follow that. Fuck it. There you go.
We'll figure it out.
All right, everyone. This has been Cloud Surfing. Thanks for listening. I will see all of you bitches later. Thanks.